Good evening, Spartans. We are back for another interesting day of Valorant. We're going into the Midwest Esports Conference, MEC. So we're gonna be in for a treat. I'm Josh, and I'm joined here by,
Kaya.
and we are excited to get right into it. First map is going to be Split,
Blitz.
and we're playing against. Do you remember who we're playing against?
Cleveland State University Vikings, I believe.
Yep, quite the team for themselves, but Michigan State definitely not afraid of any
Mm-mm.
challenge. And we'll see what these teams pull out. Michigan State starting on the attack side. Cleveland State were the map choosers. So, or side choosers. This was Michigan State's first map. So we'll see how they perform. And it looks like we're going to get the double duelist that Michigan State has been heavily reliant on,
Mm.
and honestly is the meta right now. Out of basically all the international teams, I think NRG is one of the only ones that don't run double duelist. So kind of tells you about the meta right now.
Does does Energy typically win? Does it show like in their
Well, they qualified for international after winning champs last season,
mm,
so
mm,
they are still probably the favorites of everything, especially since Kiko is also really good.
mm.
But you also just going against the meta, so we'll see how these teams do. We're getting the veto pick, Veto
Ooh.
Tejo. Hey,
Yeah, I feel like Cleveland State has some interesting picks with,
well
you
they're
know.
trying to take advantage of that defense side, that's for sure. But we'll see just how effective that is.
Remind me of Vito's abilities.
So he has a couple abilities. His main ability is that he is able to intercept utility thrown around it for
Mm.
10 seconds upon activation.
Okay, so I can see how that might be useful on Split with such a small map and super heavily relied on util to get onto site. So.
Yep. And then he also has two TPs, which he can use upon looking at it within its radius, like a slower chamber TP.
Mm-hmm.
And he has his own throwable trip that kind of like a combination of a chamber and and we're getting a tech pause immediately. It's kind of a
Uh-oh.
combination between that of a Tejo or a chamber and a fade. And we're gonna come right back to us while we're in this tech pause.
I
So the trip is able to, upon detecting someone within its radius, will pull them in, and we're back live. Okay, this is I don't even know, but
That's
we're
a
gonna get a quick contact up B main with Kurasudo doing his lurk. 3 players from Cleveland State pushing out A main, and an explosion out onto B. Though Logical getting held up just a little bit, but no pressure being held for it. And Michigan State gonna claim the site pretty much for free, but Lemur gonna fall trying to get a little aggressive. Illogical getting 2-3! Nos finds Kurasudo now. 3v2, both players out towers. Gonna try and pressure Heron. The shorty gets a lot of damage, not the kill, however. And still on the retake. And the shorty rings out for one on Illogical. Slouch gets the trade, now 1v2. Noth trying to hold the line, the jump, and the crossfire just too much. Heron claims the final kill.
What a strong round for Illogical. Good start, good pistol. We know that when Illogical has a good pistol round, it's pretty promising for the rest of the game.
Definitely.
But,
And more than that, that was a good confidence play.
for sure.
Something you love to see from your entry duelist is a lot of confidence. You see him push into spawn, not afraid of the enemy team. And it rewards him for as much.
Lemur already on the outlaw. No surprise there.
Not at all. And it's going to be a gamble stack towards the A site, though Michigan State not gonna abide by that whatsoever. And I think Slouch might have taken a little bit of contact from that vent player, and it's just gonna force up a smoke to hold space. Michigan State still not yet out on B side, getting ready to explode out. Very important that they capitalize on this no hold site. as best as they can, and it looks like they might just contact out. Yeah, they're just going to contact out. And starting to realize that there is no one, absolutely no one on site. They're just going to start dry taking it. They're saving all their utility. And Kirisudo has to figure out where these players are. It's going to take contact up on ramp. Gets one on YU. And now getting pressured out. He's going to try and just hold his line. He's going to fall, but not after gathering so much information. And now retaking in horrible space. And you see the high-low being held for CT. Lemur finds one on Noth with the Outlaw. And it's just so much risk holding. Michigan State, though, however, deciding to back away with Lemur and Illogical falling off that line. The flank is being somewhat held. Liam is possibly playing for those exits if they can get their hands on it, but Michigan State is going to instead go out through CT, fighting these two players. The smoke goes up. Illogical is going to use his dash, and it's only going to take Lemur out. And Liam is just going to fall to the spike. And a decent round by Michigan State, keeping two rifles and the Outlaw for themselves.
It's definitely risky, but also smart for like Cleveland State to stack one site when it's their eco round. But with like situations like this where they miss the gamble and they also fall to the one lurking player, it definitely shows. And Michigan State was definitely able to utilize that.
Most definitely.
Very clean, easy round for them.
Yep, they call it a gamble, but the house always wins. This is our house. Well, Michigan State now on the weaker bye has to navigate their way against the full bye of Cleveland State. Making a little bit of pressure, claiming themselves an ultimate orb. And just gonna back away. Logical takes just a little bit of damage from the spam being returned by Cleveland State's players. And Lemur falls to YU. Not peeking out far enough to get any information, but leaving a shoulder out for them to capitalize on. And Cleveland State taking space towards mid. 3 players out there. And Kirisudo now having to be tasked with taking something.
Toxins going up.
Gonna pop the trip, but might be getting force cleared out. And is going to fall to exquisitely. Aaron retrieves the rifle, though the Teo Salvo is going to just make him a victim. Illogical might have messed up his dashes, and Slouch falling last. And a dominant round for Cleveland State to regain some of the momentum.
Yeah, I feel like Cleveland State played that round very aggressive and pushing up a lot. Michigan State's pretty good on their these types of rounds where they might have not as good as guns, even though a few of them did have some Phantoms and Vandals, but it definitely was to their advantage because Michigan State also got a little aggressive because they had some Phantom and Vandals and definitely did not work out best for them. So
definitely. And we're seeing some ult races, a few players getting close to some powerful ults. Vito on the side of Cleveland State one off, and so is Illogical on Michigan State side.
Toxins spraying down.
Ultimate that could just win the round entirely for them. And you see Cleveland State claiming the orb outside B. Lemur tries to get one with the shorty, can't. However, traded by Illogical, finds a second, has his guiding lights, available a third. This is his house. Last 2 players of Cleveland State, both on the opposite sides of the map. And you see one looking to get a little bit of information. Camino gets one.
B.
oh, the
10
timing.
HP, and Terran can't find himself a trade. Guiding lights invested.
Enemy remaining.
A whiff by Camino. And now exquisitely having to 1v3
Spike planted.
from the heroic round that Illogical left him with. And it's going to be the 4K for Illogical, the new haircut as well.
Yes.
I do believe fresh cuts do give a buff.
I don't want to
Do
be
they?
sass about
Yeah,
it.
have you
believe so.
tested it?
Yeah, which is why I've been sucking in my rank games. I haven't gotten a haircut in a while.
Hey, what do you think about Logical's use of his ult right there? Do you think that was beneficial, or should he have waited until maybe more pushing on his site, like at the start of the round?
I mean, it was a 2v3. You do have the worry of still losing that. The ultimate basically gives you a more guaranteed win. And in a moment like that, where that could determine the economy of the rounds ahead, is definitely valuable in that sense.
Gonna fall back.
We're gonna get a lot of mid contact from both teams. YU takes a lot of damage from Illogical's spam. Illogical's bullets just deciding that they will not go unvalued. The scan does not get enough information. YU taking damage on such low HP, but still alive, and now Lemur makes the elimination possible. And so is Noth on 1 HP, has to fall back on
Toxin
vents.
screen down.
Cleveland State's defenders not in the bestest of health. And you see Vito popped his ultimate to hold this site on A. They're going to get contact now. Will it prove valuable, or will it be a waste of a powerful ult? And you see B-side getting full cleared out. Cleveland State should have a huge idea. Nods finds Lemur, waiting the off angle, but the site's going to get taken.
30 seconds left.
Noth finds Slouch. Kirisuda goes down to Exquisitely. 2 players remaining, though damage is still pretty decent. 3 players in main. Illogical pushed all the way in CT, trying to catch a timing on Camino, but a haircut is given. And now Heron has to hold the line, finds 2, couldn't get the 3rd. Knots clean things up for Cleveland State, trying to keep the rounds as tight as possible.
You know, with the amount of pressure they put towards mid there, it makes me wonder if Cleveland is gonna pull out an op anytime soon. But I also wonder who would they put it on? Who do you think? Or do you think that that's not gonna be something that they have at all?
If they have an op, it's Waylay or Vito. Both characters have movement abilities. You could argue that Waylay, especially when you have guiding lights, is just going to give spam guns, because if they're slowed, it's even better than it's honestly better than the stun. But hey, also Waylay is really good with an op as well.
Who's next?
We're going to get Lemur just going in with Dimensional Drift, going in for information. Spots 1, spots 2.
Face your fear!
He's going to hold it for Illogical, though the Interceptor takes away the refract. Lemur gets a judge shot on Exquisitely. Camino finds Kirisudo on the lurk in mid, and Illogical trying to get aggressive. Gets caught by Guiding Lights. Is he going to get cleared out? Yes, he is, unfortunately. And Armageddon also invested.
Last player standing.
Judge not gonna ring out. Slouch, last one remaining in main. I think it's this known, and it's not planning for him. Though, what a shot! Looking for more, can't find it. And tied up, Cleveland State brings it to an even score. And again, what a shot by Slouch.
Yeah, that was a great one, but it looks like Michigan State's economy is definitely a little messed up now. Looks like they're gonna be, yeah, but some of half buying, half saving. Yeah, they're all gonna half buy. They want to win this round. They don't want Cleveland State to take over, but there's also risk with, you know, buying these types of guns and shields, because, you know, maybe it comes 4-3 now, but I don't know. What do you think about that? They're not saving. I feel like I would have saved here.
I mean, light shield buys aren't bad.
No, but
it gives them more rounds of economy. It's a strat brought upon, which actually forced what the outlaw meta was.
But also they have like Guardians and Phantoms. I'm just interested what you think the call is. Like, I feel like when it's so close like this, I would rather, but that's also
It could also just be a sign of confidence in the players.
for sure.
And a lot of utility being invested towards this mid-hold. Cleveland State not wanting to give up any kind of control. Kirisudo not having his best fun on that lurk roll yet. getting snuffed out in most every situation thus far. Having to find some sort of timing that he can exploit, though not given. Slouch trying to cause a distraction, though. Cleveland State's players are aggressive enough to where they can kind of avoid or get the info. Kirisudo falls so exquisitely, and ramp control is being given. Sight is going to force Illogical and Lemur to try and push out a little bit into CT, holding the line. Ramp is going to be taken, and Camino running through sewer, though punished. Nato going to hold a weird angle and is going to catch Lemur. He's going to catch him off guard. And now Heron once again in this situation finds two. Could find the body shot. YU goes down, and Heron feeling nice on those shots.
That's where that Guardian useful comes in. I see it now. I see the vision. Yeah, that was great. I feel like when Cleveland State, I feel like with that push, they're always on site. We always see all four of them on site by the time that Michigan State gets to it, but they never push or they never aggress. They wait for them to plant spike, and they always play post plant.
They're trying to limit the amount of space Michigan State can take, and then once they have all this pressure, they're trying to crush them in a kind of just put pressure from every side.
I could definitely see that with Slouch and Lemur on both sides, just slowly getting eliminated, leaving Slouch, right in the middle, which makes sense, but Slouch was able to,
Four Cleveland State players walking from mid into market.
Here.
And contact's going to be taken. Kirisudo finds one on Camino, trying to stall out. The molly is going to actually freeze him, and he's trying to get some damage. The bandit gets a headshot on Kirisudo, but unfortunately he was outside the radius of 10 meters. And it's going to force all of them to retreat towards tower very quickly and very loudly. And Illogical playing a distant judge, but knowing they're on eco means that this range is perfect, and there it is.
All right.
And nonchalantly as he goes, new cut, same personality.
I think there's some new facial hair there too,
Like, he got the Hulk Hogan almost.
Yeah, I see it.
Thanks.
Where did he get the judge from? Did he always have that?
I think he bought that round.
I see it.
Because you can kind of tell when a team is on an eco anyways.
Yeah,
So he must have just bought it knowing exactly what Cleveland State was going to do. A Viper's Pit is invested towards mid. It's going to cause a few complications. Camino with the Odin's going to get pressured hard off his line. And we're going to get guiding lights invested as the entry is hard and it is fast. Michigan State trying to be aggressive, but Cleveland State addressing it very well. YU getting punished. Kirisudo buys a second, trying to fight their way. Illogical, only 11 HP plus his 25 regen. Spikes, though, still in sight. All three players from Cleveland State there. Both Michigan State players having to challenge this. There's a high-low close right. Cross is going to be invested.
Last player standing.
Spam is going to find Illogical. Now Kirisudo has to ace if he wants to win, and he can't manage it as Leon shuts it down.
Solid vision. That was super smart of Kirisudo to put his smoke down, but not go to it. Cleveland State really much. They jumped the gun there. You saw all of the players move and start firing, which unfortunately took Illogical out because he was so low HP. But it was a smart move from Kirisudo.
Most definitely. We're gonna have to see. Michigan State looks like they're intending to work mid a bit this round, going into the 131 default. Very common.
It's like a mirror on the map where they are.
Vito is going to use his ultimate, but how much value it picks up is unknown. It looks like Michigan State is shifting a little bit more towards that B site. Illogical trying to take space. The little gap in the smoke, and Illogical intends to see if he can find an advantage from it, though not enough. Tries to find a timing out, the YU just as aware of that possible Heron gets a trade, however. Wyu falls to the spam. Now 4v4. Chip damage on both sides. Kirsudo trying to get a timing, though. The trip going to thwart his plans of getting a good lurk. Now he just has to sit patiently. Heron
Spike
falls
down
to
mid.
Lian, dropping the
Toxin
spike.
screen down.
And Kirsudo might get caught in the timing, and a judge is
Last
going to
player
give
standing.
Kirsudo some back shots. Now all up to Slouch, and unfortunately he cannot find more than one as Knots trades out Liam.
Even score now. I feel like Cleveland State, Michigan State play very similarly.
And new head coach BCJ is going to call the timeout for the Spartans. So we'll have to see what adjustments he makes. A lot of praise going on towards BCJ on the coach's side. Obviously, Michigan State's previous head coach did end up not to what the players were hoping for. So seeing new blood, we'll see how that affects, and especially one both alumni and former professional player.
Yes.
So definitely a lot of excitement going on there, but we'll have to figure out what adjustments they make. Do you have any ideas on what adjustments Michigan State are planning to make here?
Okay, like I feel like they're I don't know. I see it, but I can't put it into words. I don't know. I feel like they're just picking poor fights. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we look at the map and we look at the players and they're almost identical to Cleveland State, but they're playing like Cleveland State is playing on defense, if that makes sense. Like they're mirroring them almost, but that's not how it's supposed to be when you're on attack, right? So I don't know. I just think that they should communicate a little bit more and that they should be aggressive, and they shouldn't let Cleveland State, you know, overbear them and overtake them, and that it's okay to, you know, push where they are, you know.
Definitely. Well, we'll see how that goes. This is an eco bite, and it's going to be a guiding lights trap. The salvos might just get a lot of value. So no, it's just going to keep him alive, though. Kirsudo falls along with Lemur. 3v5. Aaron trying to get his own lurk timing. You don't see that often from info players lurking. Though, if he goes through vents, he might get his own timing awarded. No, it's going to be checked. Aaron is going to look to explore vents. Camino getting ready to explore it himself, and he's going to get caught off guard, and he's going to award Aaron with the funny gun. Because players using this gun just get so funny. And now Michigan State intend to try and take tower control. Lian might try and catch a timing to intercept it. There is exquisitely on site. Lian finds a logical on the timing in the smoke. Still have to worry about the player on site. Heron, last one remaining, has the Odin in hand, but unfortunately too many angles. Not enough time, and Cleveland State take the lead.
Last
away
round
from
in the half.
I mean, I could see what Michigan State was trying to do with A, but it was definitely one of those unfortunate, you know, they couldn't really control that they were going to trap them and ult them there. They did what they could. They got a few kills off of it, but yeah, I feel like what could have been avoided there was on B. They were kind of rushing to plant spike, even though they had a little bit of time. I don't remember who was, I know it was Heron, but whoever died peeking the one who was on B, I feel like they probably, if they would have waited for each other, they would have been able to get that and then take the two people that were heaven.
And pressure being fought for outside of B, but it's just going to be a bloodbath as Camino Odin rings true. Now Heron, again, having to try and ace to get a chance. Gets one, is going to get hit by the paranoia. Lian is going to look the right way, but not shoot. And Camino, 4K to take a 2-round lead into the end of the half.
Man, I feel like I don't know. I feel like Cleveland State is always where Michigan State is. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're playing very similarly. Maybe they did their research on how Michigan State plays split. Was this Michigan State's pick, or was this?
This was the Michigan State pick, though they are going into the defender side, which happens to be
more promising.
Which happens to be the side this map is strong in, with tight lanes that are really hard to get through. So we'll have to see how Cleveland State navigates through this map. you know that they have a lot of util that rewards both fast and slow pacing.
Time to jump.
So we'll have to see how they decide to go around that, especially with the veto.
Also, like, I know we talked about how Sentinels aren't really in comp right now. How do you think that affects these type of maps where it's super defensive heavy?
I think it rewards the value of forward information all that much more. Getting people inserted into spaces physically instead of relying on passive utility.
Yeah, I agree. Especially like in mid, I feel like you would always see like
Doing
a
a thing.
Sage wall or like some Killjoy turrets there, and that would be good enough. So
And Cleveland State taking a lot of mid control. They're going to also explore inside of vents, maybe a little bit more. No, they're going to refract out. They're claiming a little bit of information. Michigan State realizing they don't have enough space, and Slouch just going to dry peek swing with his smoke. And Camino is going to fall to a lost 1v1. Leon now looking to catch his own timing as the rest of his players start going up vents, though logical with the jump peek. And the shorty is going to find one, exquisitely finds Lemur. Now Heron kind of full boxed. Has to try and find a timing. He has a classic in hand,
30
trying to get
seconds
away
left.
with something. Can he get away with murder? Yes, he can. And he's also going to pick up
Spike
Sheriff.
down A.
Now 3v2, Michigan State now all of a sudden has numbers advantage, though Slouch extremely low HP.
Spike
As
planted.
the paranoia smoke returns to him, so does Fade scan. Paranoia is going to help Kirsuto clear. The eye is going to spot both. Molly
Last
going to clear
player
space,
standing.
though some whippage. And Cleveland State all of a sudden takes the round for themselves. And a bad pistol round to lose if you're the Spartans.
you know what Heron did there, where he peeked out right from vents on B, is something that I feel like Michigan State could have taken advantage of. You know, I feel like we've seen Michigan State in that very similar position where there's 3 people on site, and then there's also 3 opposing people right like across from them. I feel like if Michigan State would have spread out their players a little bit more and not
Shit,
let them
they're
be so
good.
pressured, they could have, you know, avoided situations like that we just saw Heron take advantage of. So Heron on top frag,
Yep.
having a good game.
And Michigan State looking to fight mid quite heavily. And Cleveland State going to address it very similar to how Michigan State like to, which is take B main control through contacting through it. And you see an aggressive fight through CT.
Spike planted.
Cleveland State trying to fight on site.
Last
And it's
player
going to be a flank by
Oh.
YU with a Bucky getting 4. That's the walk through CT, up to tower and behind to get 4 kills for the
Wow.
Vikings.
Whaley's definitely taking advantage of those shotguns. Saw it in the pistol round in this round, and keeping it. Well, they were, but
Bucky is such a glass cannon, the opposite of an op. If it's very close, it does the most damage of any gun
I feel like I
besides the Hydra op.
was never good with the Bucky. It never worked in my favor, but it definitely works in these super small maps. It makes sense why you can get a 4K off of it so quickly.
Yep. And Heron tries to take an aggressive fight, though gets punished, and so does Lemur. Logical gets a trade
Gonna fall back here.
for YU. And A-Site's just going to be walked through. The Logical trying to take an aggressive contact and is going to get spotted from behind. Now has to escape while getting surrounded from all sides. Every angle is a threat. Every single one. Kino going to take his head off. Trade Kirisuto gets Leon in CT. 2v3 retake. The economy has to win for Michigan State.
Spike planted.
Exquisitely hitting at tight angles, not going to get the damage as Kirisuto happens to find a little bit more in it. Exquisitely going to use the smoke to try and cross into an off angle. Kirisuto is going to get himself into sight, though the timing might just be poor
player
for
standing.
Slouch, and now 1v3 Kirisuto. Has to try and take a fight, but not going to be giving anything good. And it is a 10th round to Cleveland State, getting a 5-round lead.
Yeah, man, this is not looking out, you know, the best, but 10-5 isn't awful. This is definitely a round that matters for getting back into the flow of it. You don't want it to be 11, but it's also kind of hard when you just have sheriffs and you're on this week bye. But if looks like Michigan State is spread out, it's gonna default.
Gonna try and get aggressive on this A line, trying to push the Viper out as much as possible. Liam, though, however, gonna take a head off. Looking for more. Hybrid falls, so does Lemur, and now Kirisudo all alone. Sheriff in hand, has to find a 1-5. Not gonna be looking the right way as Camino just dry swings and takes his head off.
I feel like what just happened probably could have been avoided. I feel like they each peeked him one by one. Did you? Yeah, I definitely can see BCJ yelling at them for that. I mean, it was Heron that put the eye out, and they were supposed to wait for that eye because, you know, that player could not have gotten out of that, and then they could have. Yeah, Michigan State, probably not your best play, but.
Yeah, definitely some questionable timings. Obviously, the play not practiced to what they would like. You know, not perfect.
No.
That's for sure.
I could see what they were trying to do, but yeah, maybe a little bit more communication, not jumping the gun, probably could have.
The vision
was
there.
that. Yeah,
just
it was
needs
there.
more reps.
Yeah, just I'm sure BCJ will.
Let them know.
Yeah, I was not surprised when I saw that
Yep.
timeout immediately.
So the biggest thing is for the Spartans, stay confident, stay keeping their head in the game, because it is always winnable until the game ends, and the game is yet to end. So we'll see what adjustments they decide to make on this defensive end. So far, not able to take a single round from the Cleveland State Vikings. So Michigan State definitely need to find something. And will it be the Lemur operator force? Well, we'll have to find out soon, as they are going to his site. Quite fortunate for us. He's going to take contact. The off is going to find the first. He falls off, takes a new line, finds a second, tucks away. He's going to get picked off. Harry gets a trade.
Spike down A.
And trying to stay on site, but exquisitely flushes him out. 3v2. Spike gonna get planted. Michigan State looking to group up to retake all three through screens. Waylay gonna pop his ultimate. Try and prevent himself. And it's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade. A logical whizzing past him. And it is just unfortunate, as Exquisitely does not have the sense or mouse space for it.
No, that was definitely good. Lemur on that op definitely helped. Get the momentum up. Yeah, this is the first step. This is what we need. 11-6. It's not the best, but it's absolutely not awful.
Yep. Well, Lemur with a sniper is definitely something that Michigan State likes to see.
Yeah, you know, it also could be a reason why we haven't been getting a lot of rounds. We utilize his op so much on defense, especially for mid and these like super aggressive takes or like picks and stuff. But it makes sense why.
Well,
they haven't had the
Shadows traveling.
Camino is going to have an operator of his own on attack, no less. We'll see how much value that can find. Cleveland State. Waylay is going to use guiding lights to try and flood into sight, though the volley from Kirisudo is going to prevent the rest of the team from capitalizing on it. So YU gets isolated, kind of being a little goofy. Now a lot of hesitation going on from Cleveland State. Kirisudo not in the best of shape in terms of HP, but not being dead is value in and of itself. See Leon with a deep line is going to get spotted out by Kirisudo's jump spot. Dry swing doesn't go the way that Camino wanted.
Down
Knobs
B.
falls to Slouch, trying to trade. Last two players remaining from Cleveland State in mid. Trying to contact their way through. Trying to walk their way inside. But is going to become a victim of the operator. One falls exquisitely low HP. Lemur just playing around with the shorty. Might get spotted out by Heron. Yes, it is. He's going for the knife. He's going for the knife. He got the knife.
And I didn't
He
even
got
need
the
a gun.
knife. And you see the grin on his face. The turd-eating grin, you might say. Absolutely diabolical, and it's going to force a timeout from Vikings coach Satoru.
Toru Gojo.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, Kirsten's play right there, that was really good. It shows why you can't really rely on super aggressive, just fly onto sight, because that's one molly can just completely stop that. Definitely isolated them, and the Michigan State was just kind of able to fire off them because they were definitely caught off guard by that molly, I think. So.
Yep, and that is the value of a Viper, is the separation you can put from yourself and the rest of the team, especially with a molly that the rest of the team can't push through. There's just no helping that for the Waylay, and Waylay not refracting out is her own mistake, really.
Yeah, for sure. I think she got a little too aggressive. Did not need to take that fight, but one of those advantages with Waylay is if something like that happens, you can go back and retry. But
we'll see what adjustments that the Vikings can make. You see an Odin instead of an op.
I wonder if they bought an op because they saw that Lemur got an op. Do you think that was, they were like, oh, it's on, like, we're opping now? Or, because I don't think they had an op on defense, did they?
Nope.
Yeah, so.
It could just be a counter op, but they did not realize that Lemur best NA. And Slouch has to hold sight on his own. The paranoia to stall, but unfortunately shots don't whip out quite as expectedly. Lemur gets one, traded out
Spike
also
planted.
by the Waylay. Now 3v4, having to retake in a numbers advantage, never a fun thing to do. Worst thing they can give is time.
Here.
Michigan State going to invest some ultimates. A 1-for-1 trade in hell. YU gets one.
Last player standing.
And it's just going to be continuous trades that favor the Vikings, and State now in match point deficit.
Yeah, I feel like Michigan State is struggling against all the utility that Cleveland State has. I feel like especially with that veto, I feel like it's either like they focus too much on trying to, break any abilities that they see so it doesn't affect them, but at the same time they're losing focus on what they're looking for, which, doesn't, it's just a lose-lose situation for them.
Now in the desperation, Michigan State, Pseudo is going to hide with his op, trying to get a timing though, not going to be given anything. He's going to try and put himself back on the deep line, though the smoke is going to prevent him from doing just that.
Portal closed.
And the rest of the players from Cleveland State besides Omen decide to shift over towards A. Held by Heron. And illogical, the lurk is taken out. Heron spots one, now it's going to force the speed up. One foul. The guiding lights is going to line him up, but unfortunately
One
Heron
enemy
falls.
remaining.
Illogical lines up
Spike
two. Last
down
one was
A.
also there. He has to walk up ramps to find some space to breathe. But the rest of the Spartans all grouping up there. And 1v4. 20 HP. And Kirisudo just going to get an easy headshot. 12-8. Cleveland State, 4 rounds lead in closing.
4 rounds in a row is definitely doable, but we've not seen them win that many rounds in a row this game, so
We
definitely
have
hope.
seen Cleveland State with 8, so we'll have to see if Michigan State can repeat the success of Cleveland State.
It looks like the Cleveland State's buying an Odin and a Bucky. Or not a Bucky, why did I say that? A Bulldog. It's a little intimidating. Makes me wonder what they had planned.
Cooper is going to get scanned out and just forced off his line by the weight utility. Armageddon is going to take him out, and he tries to ult out of it, though might have just wasted his ultimate instead. There was an attempt. And Cleveland State still equal. Gonna group up towards B. Challenge, slouch, back sight.
Cover going out.
And they're gonna try and contact. Kirisudo finds two. Spike is dropped. TP is
remaining.
Oh,
questionable. And now,
I think Slouch has done that same TP.
exquisitely. Kind of just nothing he can do.
Seconds left.
The one-way smoke is going to favor Slouch as he finds the final pick. And another round towards this deficit to try and go to overtime.
And Michigan State also has the Viper ult, which is definitely could be great, especially like just trying to get one round. It's an easy round win, especially if used at the right time.
Well, more than likely he's going to just use it mid.
Yeah, definitely smart because it looks like Cleveland State is thinking about going mid.
Though
But
they do have the right utility to clear out
Gun
of
here.
Viper.
yeah, it's one of the things Michigan State lacks. They have Fade utility, but you know, Fade utility can only do so much, especially in the Viper ult.
And Lemur's going to fall to the Bandit of exquisitely. Though that does not solve the issue of a Viper's Pit. Kirisu's just going to navigate his way through. The Bucky gets him a little chip damage, but not enough to where he has to worry about it. The regroup from Cleveland State is going to be towards B. 4 players there with Leon staying behind. Kirisudo, realizing the pressure, is going to try and support his teammate. Fight out. A logical fall to the lure. Kirisudo falls.
Player
So
standing.
does Slouch. And now Heron,
One.
1v4,
Spike
has to
planted.
fight his way through. And all the ultimates from Cleveland State are coming out. Going to get noted by the trip.
Bring them down.
Now has to brawl his way out of this post plant.
I'll find
All the
you.
cards stacked against him as well. And the Bucky is just going to take his head off.
Attackers win.
And map 1 going to Cleveland State. A shaky start for Michigan State on their map choice. But you see highs and lows from both teams. You see exactly what each team is capable of. And we're going to have to
For
see if
sure.
Michigan State, known to be a little bit of a second and third map merchant, can warm up and get moving forward.
Yeah, I feel like looking at Cleveland State's all the first bloods, they definitely have a lot more than what Michigan State does, which shows how aggressive they are and how they're using it. It's more, I guess I don't want to say more, but it's also just more spread out. It's every single player has at least one, if not more, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Michigan State kind of got almost util diffed. They didn't really know what to do against it, which makes sense when you have, you know, Vito and those type of characters where they're just super utility heavy, but I think that round they lost because of Lemur dying right at the start. That was really unfortunate for him. Definitely kind of offset them. Kirisudo was forced to play super safe in the Viper ult, which led to, you know, him dying and losing mid. So
Definitely a couple errors coming from the Spartans, though not enough to deter their mental. So we'll see what they can do on map 2, Haven,
Which
coming
is-
back.
sorry, yeah, it's super strong map for Michigan State. I think I was surprised that that wasn't their first choice.
They've been going to split as their first. I
They
think they like
have?
the lurk.
Yeah, that
But
makes
we'll
sense.
get to that after a break. And we are back for a map 2. We're going into Haven. We're going to have to see what Michigan State can bring out in order to possibly bring this to a map 3. A logical back on the Waylay. We've seen ups and downs from that pick.
Or Neon.
Or Neon, sorry. We've seen ups and downs from that pick. He's been getting a lot of studying done for that character, though. One of the hardest workers I have ever seen. And he is determined to figure out that agent. And on the other end, we're going to get a similar comp, except we're going to get the Cypher instead of the Killjoy, and the Jet instead of the Neon.
Kind of like a vastly different comp than what they had before. I don't know. I feel like when I look at these comps, it reminds me so much of like early Valorant. You know, I feel like you don't see these types.
Well, early Valorant, Yoru was the worst character. So.
But also, isn't Jet not very? I feel like we talked about it because I think we had somebody who was playing Jet, and you talked about how they weren't the best right now. Do you think that's still the case, or?
Unfortunately, there are a lot of other duelists who just do Jet's job better currently.
Like
especially
Waylay, right?
Waylay, who is by far now the best duelist along with Yoru.
Which, you know, it makes me wonder why you wouldn't, you know, stay on Waylay, especially because they had such a, you know, dominant game last.
Probably comfort.
That makes sense.
This is one of the best Jet maps. If you're going to play Jet, this is definitely one of them. On the previous map, you would probably Raze. Or
Gotta go.
Yeah, you can't really take advantage of the Bucky or the shotgun too much here.
Definitely not as much contact being taken up mid as a Logical doing the same entry that he has been doing for a bit, though. Gonna get backstabbed by Camino, traded out by Lemur. It's going to, and through some levels of respect, it's going to force Cleveland State to play retake as they clear out Garage. Kirisudo trying to speed up his flank ever so slightly. No, he's just going to be patient and wait for the right timings. Aaron falls, and Ryu finds Slouch while blind. Lemur has to slow down the retake as much as he can, but he's unable to. Backstab, not planted for Kirisudo. Finds 2, pacifying a few more. Sheriff reload is going to cause a loss, and exquisitely finds Kirisudo. Cleveland State taking the pistol round.
Unfortunate that Logical fell right at the start. You know, he checked one corner, but ignored the other, and it definitely cost him, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
But looking to maybe buy a few sheriffs.
Well, we got one on Kirisudo and we got one on Slouch. We'll see if that will bring him any value, honestly. I can see it.
Time out.
Here, a lot of contact coming out mid. No kills, but a bit of damage being exchanged.
Gotta go.
Logical getting ready to burst into sight. The paranoia is going to falter the push just a bit. Slouch gets one, Lemur gets one, 2 fall on site. The judge, it's Dasner. As Camino gets 3 and Noth finds the last. And a fast take being shut down for a second round for Cleveland State.
No, I definitely could see, you know, definitely see Michigan State winning that. I don't know. I feel like Cleveland State just always has a shotgun at the right time. You know what I mean? All the times that Michigan State could have won if they didn't have the shotgun, there's a shotgun that gets a 3K or 4K. It's just crazy to me. I feel like Cleveland State just has really good reads. You know, I feel like they've studied.
They have the 4-stack
yeah,
towards
exactly.
the right site. A hit coming in. See the pressure being put towards Sewer. They want to brawl that out, and you see Cypher, who's already up. Which means it's all but guaranteed the hits going towards A. Site's going to be executed, but they don't have Sewer control. Kirisudo has to find his way through it.
Nice out.
Sewer still controlled. It's going to be a flip. 3v3. Michigan State trying to take advantage of these better weapons. Planning for CT, 2 players in long. Exquisitely.
Last player
Gets a
standing.
timing and a collab headshot here, and last one remaining. Has the spike still in hand. And he's going to try and make his way all the way to the opposite site. There is a camera, however, on C-site long, which could give a mountain of information. Plant's gonna go down open.
Oh.
And Leon is just gonna swing out and
Biggest
take his
mistake
head
was
off
that you pissed me off.
for free. The third round for Cleveland State.
What a well
They must have
You
a
know,
death wish or something.
picked camera. I don't think I've ever seen it that far down C, but it makes sense. But
You throw the cam deep. Honestly, I do it a lot. You
Yeah.
get early round info. Either it gets broken and you know they're there, or it doesn't, and,
And then
you
you
have
use
the
it.
entire lane
Placing
with
alarm
just
bot.
a single piece of utility.
man, I wonder. I don't know. I just feel like Cleveland State just has really good reads, and I feel like that's what Michigan State is falling on. It's almost kind of like out of their control. Like everything new that they're trying to switch up, it's like Cleveland State is there.
Well, Cleveland State trying to explore mid relatively fast. You have an operator being put on the lines. Go TP away, and now the stack is already at C. But Michigan State also has an understanding of that, and they're going to start rotating away. Noth's on the tight angle. He's going to try and just take a shot and back away, but he has the info being gathered. Michigan State being cautious, using the owl drone to clear out the space, and I believe it's going to find Noth, not scan him, but find him. And you see the rotates coming in. Owl drone is going to clear sewers, is going to remove some variables. That should tell Michigan State not only that they have to be careful, but that they're already rotated. Now the retake, Noth finds one, Illogical gets one, YU gets a shotgun shorty. Flank coming in.
30 seconds left.
Slowly through long, exquisitely. Off backstab by
Player
Leon,
standing.
exquisitely.
Spike down A.
Fine slouch, and now 1v2, Kirisudo, 18 seconds remaining. Does have the rifle, but time ticking down, Spike not in his side.
One enemy
Finds
remaining.
one, looking for the second.
Oh,
Ran out of one, shotting him. One bullet remaining, not enough.
Yeah, super unfortunate. I could see what Kirisudo was trying to do. He knew that someone was flanking them, but was waiting for them, maybe like scanning the clone. But it looks like Lemur was unable to follow his shots with that sheriff. It was kind of unfortunate there.
Yep, and BCJ forced to call a timeout to stop the bleeding and get Michigan State on track on this map. They can't afford to take that much of a deficit. They have to win this map to go to map 3.
Yeah, it's definitely one that they don't want to lose to. I feel like Haven's kind of hit or miss for Michigan State. I feel like we either see them win it by a lot, or we see them win it or lose it
Well,
by a lot.
we did see their go-to Lemur go mid get a 3K with the sheriff this time on the pistol round, and I mean by historical numbers, that's usually their go-to. They didn't even get a chance to start on the defense side in the first place, where they usually do that. So in the modern Michigan State Haven, we have yet to see their go-to starting rounds.
You know, that makes me question too, because wasn't this Cleveland State's pick?
Yes.
So it makes, I wonder why they started on attack. Do you think that maybe has
The snap is technically attack sighted because it's a 3-point with 5 choke points, really hard to defend. But at the same time, those choke points are so thin, it's even harder to attack than it is on a map like Abyss. Not Abyss. What was that map? I'm already forgetting the map that's about to come back into the pool.
Fracture?
No, the 3-point map. The other one. Oh, we promise we play Valorant. We promise. And the
Oh,
op is
Sunset.
found.
Sunset.
That is not the 3-point
No.
map.
Cutting through.
Lotus.
There we go.
Lotus, which is also going to be joining back to the rotation after getting a few reworks.
I'm back.
And Lemur goes out on site, but Leon clears Lemur out. Hunter's Fury is going to ring out. Getting a little bit damaged. Hiron tagged up. And a Logical getting caught on the smoke drop. 3v4. Hiron tries to equalize on a swing, but falls. 2v4. Kirisudo finds 1, finds 2. Now
Last player
1v1.
standing.
Can Slouch hit the shot? No, not. cleans house, and a 5th round to Cleveland State, ending on a favorable 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, this is super unfortunate,
Revealing
especially
area.
with that off last week. I don't know, I feel like Michigan State can come back. I feel like they have the potential. I feel like they're in their head right now. I feel like, you know, they lost the first game, which is never good. You know, they've lost first games before. I mean, it's happened. They've come back. But I think after losing 5 rounds in a row and just losing that momentum, like, I feel like it's definitely having an impact on their gameplay. You know what I mean? And it's also just unfortunate because they're pushing A and there's, you know, 3 people here instead of C where there would have only been 1.
Well, they're going to use ultimate to take kind of control, and the fight towards the Soho. Knots now in a bind. Illogical is just
Okay,
going to
yeah.
run straight through him. You see the flank trying to be caught, but
Cover
Utility,
going out.
I think he's going to smoke past it. Might get a timing if they're not there. Slouch. No, wait, the Utility's down because of the Killjoy, and it's going to give a flank timing. Slouch loses his 1v1. Camino is going to use his ult
Last player
reveal, and it's going
standing.
to get 2 picks. Now Lemur in a 1v3. Finds 1. Tags. And Jiggles out, but it's going to get the Odin in exact location where to spray.
I mean, this is... Okay, so Michigan State got site, and that was great. They got it beautifully. They were all on site, and it was great. I feel like that post plant was really unfortunate in that there were... I know that you're supposed to be spread out so that you can, you know, make sure that you have all angles covered and you can communicate, but I feel like it's hard when there's no communication and no kills. You know what I mean? It almost makes them spreading out useless, and I feel like what happens a lot is we see one person die and then the next and then the next. I feel like with that being a big thing, I feel like maybe that they should play a lot more together, especially if they're whiffing their shots.
The biggest issue was, unfortunately,
Placing
Curiosito
swamp grenade.
fell in the beginning of the
grenade
round
out.
and it gave way for timing, in which Jet capitalized on perfectly. Now Michigan State going to go fast into B, and just as fast are they shut down. 2 players falling immediately. Slouch and Lemur trying to fight their way through. The paranoia is going to catch Lemur. There's one, looking for another. Swing up by Jet is going to catch on timing, and now
Spike
Kirisudo.
down, B.
Sheriff in hand, 1v3. Finds 1, 20 HP. And the Jet just slowly approaches, getting the find for 7 rounds consecutive. Cleveland State showing why they chose this map and why they feel so comfortable. And BCJ forced to call his 2nd timeout. No timeouts remaining for the Spartans. But with a 7-round drop, you kind of
Yeah.
have to.
It's really unfortunate. I feel like Cleveland State is so adaptable. You know what I mean? And they're very, very quick to jump the gun, which definitely has, you know, its cons. You know, you don't want to hear one thing and then like all rotate. But I feel like Michigan State hasn't been, you know, going back from what they started. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if they go mid, then they're fully committing mid, and they're not gonna like fake it or anything, which makes sense why Cleveland State is so quick to like go there. And you know, I also like they're also just losing their gunfights too. It's just kind of unfortunate. I feel like Michigan State's not having the best day today, which happens, but it also happens when you don't switch things up. So.
Definitely. They're struggling to adjust to this comp. More so to the players. They're playing the map really well. Cleveland State navigating around all the pressure with such precision. And it is taking advantage of every mistake that the Spartans make. And we're seeing the results. We're seeing exactly why this was their first map pick. They feel extremely comfortable on it. They're finding every single hole that the Spartans leave, and they're capitalizing. And also, they're just playing really well.
Yeah.
Michigan State trying to take some mid pressure. Off the flash, they're gonna swing out. Trades go
Spike
through,
down
2 for
mid.
2s.
Here.
Knots uses his recon. Zao drone. He's gonna just possibly dry swing this. Not gonna catch a timing. And look where the jet is. Right behind with an op, holding the line. And he's gonna catch a shoulder on Slouch.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
2v2. Michigan State trying to find where the gap is. There's only 2 players left. There can only be in so many spots, and they know where one of them are. Trying to work their way through garage. Lemur looking to be a bit of a hero in this sense. No, Cursudo is going to follow him too. Going to try and explore through B. Both players there. They're going to take C site. Cleveland State exploring through B main, trying to
30
squeeze out.
seconds
They're going
left.
to take the garage route, it looks like.
I think they're going to be wary of the op.
They have to be careful.
One enemy
One
remaining.
pick for Lemur,
Last
trade
player
YU
standing.
versus Cursudo. 1v1 is going to go up window into CT. Cursudo, is he aware? Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And first round on the board, a big one. Cursudo closes it for the Spartans.
And that's what you need. And also, I think the reason why they won this round is that when they had their big gunfight against Cleveland State, they won more battles than they lost. And I think that is huge. And having that one player advantage just did so much. You know what I mean? I just feel like they're losing too many kills and they're whiffing their shots. And as long as they can come out positive on top, then it's worth it.
Just as important as taking that round is keeping the momentum going. Michigan State staying with the pace to try and claim their own speed. Michigan State going to take it to B site. Trying to make sure they stay alive though. 2 picks found. Lemur gets 2 of his own. Slouch finds 1. Cursudo falls. Now 2v2. Michigan State just gonna leave. Plan towards A site.
Time to jump.
And Lemur up towers, going to try and hold this line, try and hold this pressure while Slouch plays in hell. Now, if Cleveland State splits up, it will be advantageous for the Spartans, but playing together could lead to some issues. Especially given the plant is not the best for Heaven. Both players are going to go out hell. Cam is going to find a bit of pressure. 1 for 1 now. Lemur to be a hero. Though is going to get checked and exquisitely with the big brain outplay, understanding exactly where Lemur would be.
Yeah, you know, I wish that Lemur wanted to peek there and kind of try to keep himself more hidden and make exquisitely question, you know, oh, maybe he's not in Heaven, maybe that was a real TP, maybe he's behind me.
Well, they didn't
But
hear. It's more
need
so
a
he
drop.
tapped. There wasn't an
Thanks.
immediate clear, so he could be tower. Because tower doesn't have a great line on it.
It doesn't, but really unfortunate. I did like what Slouch did there, though. I was a little nervous when he broke the camera. I'm like, oh, you're giving away your location, but he was able to
Time to jump.
move and trick them, and was able to get a kill off of that.
Gonna
was
go fast towards A, but Lemur is going to break away. Illogical somehow lives and is going to get traded out. Nos finds Cursudo with his ult. Hunter's Fury.
I'll handle it.
YU gets 1 on Slouch as Lemur explores around with his ultimate.
player
He's going to
standing.
get backstabbed by Leon. Now Kieran with the Sheriff has to peek into an op. Gets some good shots though. And picks the wrong one. And another round for Cleveland State. And we count that.
Yeah, we can count that. We can count that.
Not a flawless. The game is lying to us, you know?
Yeah, man, pretty unfortunate. But we can also see like Michigan State's kills, you know, dispersed across them. Like, just not the best. They're not really winning any of their fights. Really kind of
Cutting through.
unfortunate, especially when you can see that they're
Here.
kind of nervous. And also, like with Lemur, he didn't check behind him when he was going right in the middle of the site. Just like silly, small mistakes like that that they wouldn't normally make.
knocks down, breaks turret. A logical falls to the operator.
dead.
Lemur, however, Lemur finds Leon. 4v3.
Fake
Oh, the
teleport.
pressure on the side of Cleveland State, down 1. And without much info. They're just trying to hold some lines, trying to hold some space.
Right here.
They have no info, and you see them trying to, more than anything, play retake and try and get an idea for where the Spartans are going. Michigan State grouping up outside A, going to take space.
Take flight.
Being played as retake. Site cleared completely. And it's going to only be one player there. He's going to use his out drone to try and find something, but not going to be given.
Placing swarm grenade.
3 players going to try and flood out of CT. 1 out with the Blade Storm. 1 for 1. Kirisudo gets him. Wayu with the Molly.
Revealing area.
1 enemy
1 for 1
remaining.
trade. Slouch TP's away. Survives. And Kirisudo taking advantage of the confusion to find exquisitely.
Last round before the switch.
Giving a second round to the Spartans.
You definitely one of those games where we see that Neon kind of almost hurting them the more their advantage. I feel like when they win when they have really big games on Haven, you see Illogical and Lemur on top dominating, but it's definitely games like these where they're losing by a lot, and you also see
Placing alarm bot.
it's the risk of picking such an aggressive duelist character.
Nowhere to run!
Quite is the duality of a duelist. Heron gets tagged. Illogical getting some damage done with his ultimate as well. He's just going to back away though. After dealing a lot of damage to 2 of these players and putting pressure, it's going to be a C take. And the flood out is going to fall 1. Wayu goes down.
Idiot.
Camino gets 1 but goes down as well.
Spike planted. Cutting through.
Lemur gets the plant down. Now gonna hold the crossfire. So falls is Heron. Now it's gonna be a post plant.
Time to jump.
1 enemy remaining.
Silence ready.
Ooh, there.
And Lemur and Slouch able to clean house and give Michigan State a 3rd round
sides.
going into the second half. 9-3 curses available. Do you believe in curses?
I do. I think that this is very, very winnable, and I think the Spartans have a really strong drive. And it just takes a few. I feel like it just takes a few wins. Obviously, when you're down 7 rounds, it's going to be kind of hard to get the morale up, but winning the last round could be promising. You know, they just got to come strong, be aggressive, and don't be afraid.
Well, we're going to see a logical walk down with Lemur and Slouch. The usual, as you could say. And we'll see
Ready.
the outcome and how it affects the players.
Scanning ahead.
Logical. Lemur getting the deep line inserted. But is Lemur going to get cleared? He's going to find 2 towards mid, looking for a 3rd. TPing away with his life. Now the hot seat goes onto Cleveland State. Damage being taken by Kai. Kirisudo getting blinded on his line is going to fall. And 4v3 forced to retake, however.
Spike planted.
The number advantage is still fine. See Cleveland trying to get a little aggressive, taking the aggressive fights. 1 falls, the logical gets second, now 2v1.
There we go.
And Slouch cleaning it up. And no reaction from him, just some fist bumps. And they're moving on.
That's good. I was a little nervous there with Kirisudo dying right away. It kind of made me question, you know, why he was on site and why also all of the team was off site. Just kind of almost kind of felt like they were almost like baiting him a little bit. It got me a little worried there, but they were able to ignore that.
every round being so valuable, we'll have to see what the Spartans put together on this round.
They
I saw an outlaw.
Yeah, they want to buy guns that will be very useful if they win this round, which they should. That
No
will be useful
charges.
for them in the third round and have a chance going against all these phantoms.
Got the Bulldog. Slouch gonna take an aggressive angle, wants the smoke. Will he be given the smoke? Low touch.
Shadows traveling.
They're gonna fast take B. Slouch is just going to use his paranoia to stall. There's going to be a fight toward A link.
Spike planted.
Aaron's gonna respect it just a bit. And Logical
Here.
rotating
Both are
away to
closed.
get there as soon as possible to help out his teammate. You see 3 players fighting through it. 1 falls to Aaron. And it's going to be a low respect. Kirsudo, though, has to be careful of his back. Flank through spawn. Timing's being given. The flank is still active, though.
Here.
One enemy
Though
remaining.
it's aware as Lemur gets
There
it,
we
and
go.
Kirsudo gets a sheriff shot on Nox.
Gun here.
And round
Gun.
it goes to the Spartans.
Yeah, that was great. It was a little unfortunate with the Lemurs flanking there. There was almost an advantage to it, but unfortunately, like, timing happened. But that was great, and also like the fact that Kirsudo bought a sheriff at the start, and then he was able to have that and pick up a gun. Makes sense why not everybody buys
Time to
just
jump.
a gun and not a pistol, because you can capitalize off of that.
Yep. The biggest formula usually goes 3 people buy rifles and 2 people say full shield pistol.
Here.
We're gonna get this tripped across, but we already have the deep line, and Lemur is gonna award himself an early pick on the lurking Camino. End of the Clone Wars, I'd say. Now Michigan State with numbers advantage, but rifles are still favoring Cleveland State. Aaron did get darted out a
Alarm bot
bit, so
down.
he has to be careful. The alarm bot
Here.
being broken in garage, pressuring Kirsudo, though it's not going to be capitalized upon at all. And now the Cleveland State are going to move up outside B, a tag for 140. Not a kill, but a lot of freaking damage. And Lemur's just going to evacuate site and play retake. And it's going to put YU on extremely low HP.
Spike
Plants
planted.
goes down, but not much space being given. Illogical is going to try and flank, tries to catch a possible timing.
Out of charges.
And Leon falls. Flank is given. Now all 3 players on site have to fight their way through. 2 fall. C-Link is cleared out.
Last player standing.
And the Crossfires of Doom award Cleveland State with the round. Definitely a little bit of sluggishness, I'd
Race to
say,
the
from the
spike
Spartans more than anything.
Yeah, I agree, but something that I did notice that I want to compliment them on was that they switched it up, how they approached B. Cleveland State did, because, you know, they switch everything up, and they're very strong in this map, but instead of Michigan State playing how they normally do, they waited and they let them take site, and you could see that they started to communicate, even though the push wasn't as, didn't turn out as well as they wanted it to, and yeah, like you said, it was a little sloppy. We could see that they're making change and they're addressing what they're doing wrong.
Also, Heron avoided high watch, and it's going to be a little bit of aggression on this A site, and it's going to force all the space away. The Owl Drone is going to be used to re-clear. Logical is going to elect to be the one to break it and escape, leaving Heron in an aggressive line. No, he's going to decide to back away. Heron actually falling instead to Leon.
No more
Slouch
meddling.
catching the lurk Camino.
Shadows
And
traveling.
was going to TP out of the corner, but realizes there could be another. Actually, a very aware play, because there was one. And now, back to even numbers. Both team losing a lot of information gatherers on each side. Michigan State trying to just hold positions, hold space that they already have, but Slouch is going to fall to a Bulldog 3 burst. Yu's going to also
Found
go
them,
back
killed my
to B
bot.
side while the rest of the players go through garage.
Bomb grenade out. Turrets destroyed.
Gonna try and
Bomb
flood
grenade
into
out.
C
30
side.
seconds left.
Pseudo trying to hold the line just a bit, gets
Now,
one,
Vincent.
but they're not aware of the B lurk at all. Where are they?
Spike planted.
Pseudo checks, but checks in the wrong timing. Pseudo just holding the timing, though. I don't think he's gonna
Last
check the right
player
spot.
standing.
And Yu's gonna line up two. Now logical 1v3, not gonna be given space. And Cleveland State 11-5. Michigan State broke.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate, especially with the jet mid. They were not really expecting that and weren't even thinking about it, which is really unfortunate. But also just the time with the logical, he could have. You could see it. He was in garage. Maybe if it was just a few seconds later, he would have been able to help him out. But
Let's fly.
it's one of those things that Cleveland does really well. Their timing is impeccable.
Spartans realizing they have to force this round. You see a lot of no shield
Nowhere
buys,
to run!
but logical is gonna fall to Camino. Hunter's Fury threatening the Spartans. As the Euroclone enters into B site, the rest of the players besides their lurking Camino shifting, just maneuvering the map, playing Michigan State, forcing them to have all the pressure. The ult on C side is going to get info. Logic or Lemur is going to be the one to break it. Pseudo finds Yu, but A site's going to be the destination of choice for the Cleveland Vikings. A site being the chosen retake site is going to be given up. The Hunter's Fury is available, but it looks like the Vikings are playing the fight out. One found on by Camino. The off is going to get another. Iron goes down.
Spike planted.
Now 2v4. Michigan State needing to win, but with all the odds against them, it just does not look right.
Last player
Not gonna
standing.
clear the off angle as exquisitely finds his head. And now Pseudo forced to try and bear all the weight, and it is too much for him. Match point. Cleveland State looking to complete the sweep. Michigan State desperate.
Alarm bot out.
I mean, they definitely have the utility and they have the ults to win this round, but it's more
Placing swarm grenade.
how many rounds, you know.
Placing sentry.
I just,
Recalling my bot.
I feel like they're having a hard
Placing
time
alarm bot.
understanding what they're doing wrong and working off of it. We saw that one mid push, but
Mid fight, Yu finds first
Get
contact
out of my
on
way.
Lemur. Trying to fight their way through Auto Spartans, but it's just going to be a pivot towards the ace site.
I
Should say realizing it early, but early enough. Leon falls. Off down. It's just going to be an aggressive swing out. Aaron falls. Illogical gets one, traded out by Knots. Slouch trying to look for his own timing, but goes down, and now Pseudo, last one remaining, gets the lockdown ult
Spike
placed,
planted.
but it's not going to get enough value as all three players get the spike down and clear out while planting it more long, and it's just going to be exquisitely
Attackers
taking
win.
Pseudo's head while he swings. And Cleveland State are going to sweep the Spartans 2-0.
yeah, super unfortunate. Not typically what you like to see, but Cleveland State is also a very strong team that has a very strong Haven. They also, I just feel like Cleveland State played great, and I feel like this is going to be something for Michigan State to utilize. They can definitely, like when they go back and they VOD review this game, they can see the plays that Cleveland State made and, you know, learn from it, capitalize, and maybe use it to their advantage.
Definitely. A very strong Haven showing from the Vikings showed that they are extremely proficient at this map, that it is truly deserving to be considered their comfort map.
For sure. It makes sense, you know, that jet play, if, you know, you want all those comfort characters and you want that. But I think this is good, especially with the new coach. There's a lot of ground for him to cover, for him to, you know, show his strengths and help the Michigan State team. They haven't really lost super bad like this in a little bit, so this is going to be good.
Yep. And
We learn. We live.
Yep, and hopefully the players see it just as much as an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see what they can change from this match. I believe they have another match from the Power Esports Conference coming up tomorrow. So we'll have to see what happens. I believe it's against Kansas. So so that should be a pretty it should be a recovery match at least. So we'll see how that goes. But that is for another day. Tonight we're gonna say good night, Spartan Nation. Go green.
Go white.
You know, there's the easy way to do things and there's the right way to do things. At Michigan State University, our goal was not only to impact campus, but to impact the entire collegiate ecosystem. This is a critical time in esports, and the decisions that we make today can last for decades. And so we at Michigan State, we're committed to doing things the right way.
Raph, I know you're huge into this big esports conference. Michigan State 8-0.
We want to make sure that we are setting the standard for how programs should be built and how programs should behave.